kid.
Yep.
Charge.
Kid Tara.
It almost sounds like terror, but it's not. It's Terra.
Tara.
Like doTERRA.
Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Oily Hour. We are here. I am tuning in from the San Gabriel Valley. Pam is tuning in from
São Paulo.
in Brazil. And today we're going to talk about all kinds of things. Ooh, look at that! Kaylee's here. Avi's here. Thanks for the self-care award, Avi. Hi, Walter. Hi, Mark. So many people over here. We've got Chan in our Instagram side. So we're actually live on Instagram as well as Haps today. So if you haven't heard of Haps, it's this awesome new platform where you can hear us and also where you can live stream to like a million places at once. So actually
This is awesome. Walter he says, hello, Oily Livia.
My name is now Olivia.
That's cute.
There we go. Hi, Gary. Hello to my mother-in-law, Dile. She's actually sitting on the couch here, so she's listening in because I have headphones on, so she can't hear what Pam is saying, but she can hear what I'm saying. And she's actually staying in the office room, so I was like, oh, well, the office is also the garage. If you haven't noticed, there's like a beam above my head. But I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to be all up in your space. I feel so bad. Kaylee says, I miss you guys. We miss you too, Kaylee. Chan says, I figured I'd join here instead. Oh, awesome, Chan. Awesome. Great to see you. Yeah. Olivia, I love it. Right, B?
Bill is here too.
Bill is here too. Hi, Bill. I forgot to tell Bill that I won't be able to be at his strategy session this Tuesday because there is convention. So I guess that'll be your strategy session all week. Virtual convention.
Hey,
you don't need
by the
me.
way, I'm gonna go live every day from convention. So random times, you're gonna be on my lives too, Miss Olivia.
Yes, I will. That'll be so fun. So make sure you're following Pam to get all the convention happenings. That's gonna be really fun.
So everybody, so there's still some people hopping on Haps. So Olivia sends me the messages to hop on Haps, and now we have decided that instead of saying I'm hopping on, we're gonna say we're happing on.
Yes, and then we can talk about all the happenings.
Oh my gosh, you're such dorks. I love it.
Thank you for the high award, Chan.
One thing that we have been talking about a lot is Sandalwood.
Ooh.
I'm gonna show here to Haps peoples. So who here has used Sandalwood?
Me.
And if you haven't yet, you should.
Absolutely.
Yes. So can I talk a little bit about the meeting we had with the Hawaii, doTERRA Hawaii corporate?
Yes, talk about it. I wasn't there because I missed it. I feel very bad about this.
You're always teaching a class. They actually recognized Olivia as founder 2.0 doTERRA in doTERRA United States. But one thing that they said, and we're super excited, is the fact that Hawaii is going to have a storefront, like a showroom, in Honolulu. And this does not happen in many places. So we are so excited. We are so excited to have that. And there will be a place for people to meet and wellness advocates that want to take their guests there for them to see a little bit more about what doTERRA is, how we work. That will be the perfect place for you to take your people. But the most important part of that training was, for me, one was Dr. Riggs speaking, which was amazing. I will give you some links for you to take a look at the information he shared. I can't talk about it, but you can look at it and make it, and you can understand it for yourself. I don't have to tell you, but very amazing stuff. And they talked about sandalwood. So
Mm.
sandalwood is from Hawaii. I got to plant some sandalwood a few years ago, and in Hawaii on the Big Island. So when doTERRA first arrived in on the Big Island, is there anybody here from Hawaii, from the Big Island? And it is with a lot of respect and honor that I talk about Hawaii as if it is my second home, because it feels like it every time I talk about Hawaii. I get chills up and down my body. I get really emotional when I talk about Hawaii and I see things connected to Hawaii. There is something that moves my soul from the very first moment that I stepped on the land of Hawaii. It was like coming back home. Was a big connection.
Mm.
And funny enough, I kind of look like I'm from there, right?
We
Because
both do. We
that's
pass.
the mix of the islands. My mom is Portuguese, my dad is Japanese, and that's like very common in Hawaii. So when they first arrived in Hawaii, doTERRA arrived in Hawaii. They acquired 9,000 acres in on the Big Island, and the Hawaiians there, the native people, the locals, they were very worried. And I understand, because here in Brazil, we also have this big issue in the Amazon, and the indigenous people end up losing their land, their home, because companies come in and government and other people for money, right? For profit. And so I understand why the people got very worried. But then doTERRA was able to make everybody see by their actions, not by what they say, but by what they do, that they have a massive commitment, because it is a massive undertaking, right? They got 9,000 acres to reforest, sorry, to reforest and have sustainable supply of sandalwood. And Olivia, I'll have you talk a little bit about sandalwood while I take my water, because I'm start coughing.
So this sandalwood trip that Pamela was talking about is actually called a sourcing trip. So I won this trip as well, but I haven't gone to plant a sandalwood. I'm really excited about it. And one of the top uses for sandalwood is skin conditions or skin things. So I absolutely love putting this in any kind of moisturizer. I have a history of skin issues. So I'm sure I've talked about this many times before, that this is really amazing to just put either straight on the skin. It's very nourishing, and it's also great as a grounding oil. It's very great. It's just great for meditation, grounding. And that's one time I remember I had a throat thing happening, and I saw Pam in San Diego for one of the educational events that we attended, and she said, put some Hawaiian sandalwood on. And I was like, really? For my throat? And she's like, it's very nourishing for it. So I put it on, and within seconds it was gone. So I was really impressed. She's probably doing that right now, Pam. And so yeah, it's just a really nourishing oil. So
It's kind of
wherever,
funny, Olivia, because it seems like we do it on purpose, right? I'm like, hang on a second. I can't talk. I'm gonna cough. So let me use some sandalwood. But this stuff, like the universe is so perfect. He's like, okay, let's show these people how this thing works.
yeah, so true.
So true.
Um,
Do you see,
um,
that little tickle in your throat? And yes, we all have been under the weather. And it's not COVID, because we had to get tested to fly to the United States. So
yeah,
um, starting Monday, or Tuesday, takes us 2 days to get there. I'm gonna be in the US. So with that said, hi Mariana. I'm gonna see Mariana in Irvine, in
oh
California.
yay,
Yeah. Um, I'll go back to sustainable supply of sandalwood.
yeah,
So we need about 200 trees per year. So 1,200 trees per year. And the commitment that doTERRA has, is massive. So in 2018, they had 30,000 trees, and in 2019, 90,000 trees of sandalwood. And they will reforest all 9,000 acres, and it will take another 20 to 25 years to have a global impact with the reforestation of sandalwood. And what's beautiful about sandalwood too is that it has to grow with a friend tree, with a companion tree. Otherwise, it doesn't grow. Kind of like
Mm.
us, right? Kind of like what we do in doTERRA. Can't do
That is
doTERRA alone.
so amazing. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, you could, but you'd be one very lonely person.
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't do doTERRA alone.
No, I don't think so.
Impossible. You need to have a team, and our movement is so collaborative. Like we have to have community. This is what we do, right? In doTERRA. That's the
Yeah,
main thing that we do in doTERRA.
yeah.
So, and another, I want to just point that 20 to 25 years to have all 9,000 acres reforested. So, when you talk about a company like doTERRA, we're talking not short term vision, it's long term vision. And for everything in doTERRA, it is long term vision. Whether you are using the products or the lifestyle, or you're doing a business, you have to have long term vision for what we do. Yeah. Um, so Olivia, that day that you had that little tickle in your throat, did you eat sandalwood?
I think I did.
Yeah, you did. I remember.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you said it tastes like perfume.
Like, ooh.
And yes, it will taste like perfume, but hey, look at this. Tickle gone. So what the sandalwood does for me, what I feel, is it kind of lubricates the vocal cords. Didn't it feel
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. That's why it's such a great oil for, say, for say a singer or a public speaking kind of thing. Like right now, we're doing this is considered public speaking now, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're speaking in public, I guess.
It's
Yeah,
great
it's so good.
practice for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
and
weird if
it's
you
just
meet people on the street and they think you're gonna talk just like you talk on your lives.
I try to keep it as consistent as possible, but sometimes it doesn't happen because in real life I do different things. I'm cursing. First of all, let's put that out there, okay? I'm doing better now on the internet. I've cursed less, but still do sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just different, right? We've got to like adjust to what we need to do. Um, yeah.
So it's funny because when if you guys do lives for your work, we do lives for our work, but at the same time it's not work, it's a lifestyle, it's my mission, right? And sometimes people will expect you to always be like willing to talk a lot,
And
which
on.
I am. I love to talk, but I'm not on all the time. Um, but I usually love to be able to chat and sit down and talk. So we used sandalwood. The when was that? Wednesday. Today is Friday, Sunday, right? So Wednesday, I took my husband. His name is actually An Soo-yeon. He's Korean, and but his American name, he was adopted when he was 7 from Korea, and he was given his American name, Luke, and with a very American last name. So when we got married, he connected to my last name, my Japanese last name, because he's Asian. And he asked me, "Hey, can I take your last name so all of our children will have?" He wanted 7, by the way, originally. We have 3. So, and he said, "All of our 7 children will have an Asian last name." So I said, "Of course, it would be an honor to do that." At the same time, I also felt that I wouldn't be comfortable having that last name that did not represent him and didn't represent me. And it just felt weird. So then we decided we all gonna have my dad's last name. And this is what we did. So have any of you heard of Constellation? Not stars. like Bert Hellinger, a German um, gentleman that created this. I would say it's a therapy, but have you ever heard of this, Olivia?
I
I've told
haven't heard
you.
of this. What is
No?
this?
Oh my gosh. So maybe we can talk. Do you guys want to hear about this?
Yeah, I read a little bit about it on your post, but I wasn't really sure what was happening. I just saw some horses and it sounded amazing. So do tell, what is this?
All right. So let's talk about this. I think Constellation became a lot big, like maybe a lot more popular here in the US than it is, sorry, here in Brazil than it is in the United States. Because when I talk to people here in Brazil about it, a lot of people know. And in the United States, I've met two people that know about this, and I talk to a lot of people. So it is it's called usually family constellation, and it is probably one of the most sought after ways to get things in place. You can do constellation basically is a therapeutic approach designed to help reveal the hidden dynamics in a family or a relationship, or it can be a company, it can be whatever, in order to address the stressors that are impacting these relationships and heal them. So it is healing. It is a form of, like I said, a therapy. And it is also a way to get some answers that sometimes you might not be able to get by just trying to look for them. And that was the situation with Luke is, and by the way, you can do the constellation of your company, your career, anything that you feel that needs a little bit of organizing for you to be able to heal these relationships. You can do a constellation on. Okay, so I've done family constellations, and one thing that was really powerful for me to be able to understand and learn, I'm not an expert, like not even close, but I've been to a few and I've done a few for myself. And one of my dear constellators, she said, you know how you see patterns like um, the grandfather is an alcoholic, then the father is an alcoholic, and the son is an alcoholic. Have you seen this? It's quite common. I've met a few people that have had the same thing happen generation after generation. And the way that she said was, they all do it for love. And I'm like, really? You honor your ancestors for because you love them. So basically the son says to the father, look, I'm just like you. I'm just going to do exactly what you did. Look, I'm just like you. I love you. Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Ooh,
It's powerful,
that's
right?
that's deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then when I learned about that, I was like, whoa, this is insane, right? So we basically repeat the pattern. We repeat,
Mm,
that's just what us humans do. And we're all connected, especially like family, right? Ancestors. So
mm,
what this does is it heals these relationships and heals the ways that maybe you should honor them in a different way, in a better way. That's
mhm,
what we came here for. You honor them in a much more beautiful way. So then Luke was adopted and he was 7. And Luke does not know his real birthday. Have you ever met anybody that does not know their real
mm,
birthday? He doesn't.
yeah.
Because I do speak Portuguese, watch a man. Asking me. Yeah. So he doesn't know his birthday because I think the papers in the orphanage were. I think there was a fire. They lost his documentation and they didn't know his exact birthday. So when his dad brought him, his dad was a surgeon, an eye surgeon. He was actually one of the first ones to implement LASIK eye surgery in the world. So thank him.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he passed away, but he so he adopted Luke. He was 7, and he took him to a doctor to measure his bones and do something like that for them to be able to know his birthday. So all of this to me was like so intriguing, right? I'm like, wow,
Mm,
this is insane. This is crazy, and at the same time, it's so cool. So then they gave him a birthday random. So we don't know his real birthday, and
Mm.
he doesn't know his biological parents. He's gone back to Korea twice. I went once, and I think he tried to get connected with his parents, but he got connected with his foster parents. But he always wanted answers. And maybe you were adopted, maybe you know somebody who was adopted. Korean adoptees, as per Luke, he's been involved in some of the groups. There's a group in Hawaii called Akahi, and it's the adoptees of Korea in Hawaii. And they talked about the rate of suicide within the Koreans that are adopted. They were adopted into the United States. Because can you imagine, guys? It's already hard enough to kind of navigate a few things in life when you know who both of your parents are, right? You know where you come from. You kind of know, you have that knowing. and and for Luke has been hard because he has that part that asks all the time. He asked me, he's like, do you think my mom and my dad didn't want me? Why wouldn't they want me, right? If you're rejected.
Wow.
So
Mm-mm.
those answers no one could give him. But through the constellation, now going back to Wednesday, we used sandalwood because sandalwood is the oil of divine purpose. And I've
Yes.
always told Luke this: you have big purpose. We all have big purpose. All of us have it.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Luke's purpose is really, really big because rarely a kid is adopted at 7 years old, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
His other two adopted brother and sister were adopted, they were babies, they were newborn. And Luke was adopted, he was 7. And it's really cool. There are 3 biological children and then 3 adopted children from Korea. Their family is pretty awesome. So he was adopted at 7. Then his dad was in love with airplanes, so he was a pilot too. So they had plane like his I think Cessna plane, and Luke would always go with his dad every single time. And this one time, his dad went to test the engine of this plane, and Luke was like, "Ah, I don't want to go." So he went by himself. His father went by himself, and that's when he crashed the plane, and that's when he passed away. So, and a few
Whoa.
other instances in his life, that he's meant to be here. He's meant. And then we meet in Hawaii. I'm from Brazil. He's from Korea. We meet in Honolulu, like across the globe, because we both have, obviously, we have a mission together. So on Wednesday, he's got some answers, and it was so powerful. Does anybody here work with horses or have experience with horses? Horses are incredible beings, right? They are very spiritual, and I wrote it on my post. They can they can feel what's inside our heart more than we can even. They know what's in
Mm.
there. So the way that the constellation works, they say that the best way is to do with horses. Then the second best way, not best way, but another way to do it is with people. And the third way is with dolls that they can play, and you put names to these people to organize, right? Whatever
Wow.
you're constellating, you're organizing. So
Mm-hmm.
the horses, obviously they don't talk, but they do. So as soon as we got there, the therapist asked Luke, "Hey, can you say your name?" Because that's how you start the therapy. Say your name and your date of birth. So then we're
Mm.
like, he said his, and he looked at me and he goes, "What name?" I said, "Hey, I think the American name, right?" So when he said that name, the horses didn't move. Then I told her, "Hey, he's got 3 names." So she said, "What's his original name? The one that he was given at birth." When he said his Korean name, the horse just ran through him like tra, tra, tra. It was like took off fast, crazy fast. And she's like, "This is his name." So that was easy. So it lasted 2 hours, guys. If I was to tell you all the details, we could be here for like hours. But it was really powerful how that one horse represented his biological mother. I know it sounds a little weird, but when you do it though, when you're in there, then you can't help it to be like, wow, this is crazy. So the first time I did a constellation, and I was a volunteer there to constellate someone else,
Mm.
that person, and she didn't know any of us. So there are 12 of us in the room, and she picked a few people to represent the story that she was trying to organize. So
Mhm.
she picked me, and we only get to know about the story at the end of the constellation. So at the end of it, her story was my story. So, and I was like, how would she know? It was very, very powerful. So if you have a chance to kind of dive a little bit into constellation, I highly recommend it. So basically, what happened on Wednesday was Luke got some answers, and the horses are incredible. And I couldn't stop crying because I think naturally, if you're part of it, you start feeling what's going on. And I've never seen, I even asked on my Facebook, I've never really seen Luke cry except for twice in our relationship. And we've known each other since 2006. So it's been a minute, right? But this day, like, I never felt Luke so light and so happy at the end of something like so healing. It was really beautiful to see him. Like, it's totally different. If you will see Luke this week, you will see it's different. He's different. He's more like, yes, this is me. And he said, I'm a Korean man, because he is.
Is he gonna
So
start going by Suyeon?
yeah, he's trying to get his original name. We're trying to see what the process looks like. So probably it's not that simple, but like life, it's not simple, but it's possible. So we're gonna make it work.
You
And
know
I'm
what's
super
crazy?
excited to have a Korean last name.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh, that's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
Do you know whose name is also Suyeon?
Who?
Somebody who's already in your life. That's Amelie's name.
No way.
Her name is Suyeon.
Oh wow.
I was like, whoa, that his name? Because that's her name.
That's
Isn't
incredible.
that?
And their Korean last his Korean last name is On. And I have
Mhm.
another friend, Christy. She lives in New York. She's Korean, lives in New York, and she was explaining to us how this On name comes from the same family. They're all kind of related. So it's really cool. I'm super excited. And I've tried, and I've been trying. I'll keep trying and doing it. I cook Korean food. We do Korean things, and we get involved with Korean people like Amelie and you know,
Yeah.
Ami, and that's Olivia's family. Her brother is married to an amazing Korean woman. I love her. So anything Korean, we're like, we need a Korean grandmother.
Oh,
Anybody up for grabs?
yeah. We need a hominy.
We need a harmony. So
Yeah.
guys, Constellation is pretty amazing.
I have
If
never heard of this. It,
Yeah,
it sounds so cool. Apparently, B has done one before with dolls.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's so
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to re-meet An Soo-yeon. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great. One thing that I'll keep reminding everybody, and I remind myself and my husband, we're meant to heal. You know, you're meant to heal. Your body and your mind and your soul came here to heal, and that's what we will keep doing. And also something really powerful that we talked to a friend about was, if I'm very loyal. That's something that, for example, I have a hairdresser here in Brazil. He's kind of far, like in another neighborhood, but I will always go to him. It's been over 10 years. I'm very loyal. So, to friendships, to relationships, and I'm committed to Luke's process as much as I'm committed to my process and to our own process together. And that's something she said. She goes, I wish she got divorced. And she said, I wish I had given so much attention, much more attention to his issues than just my own. When you're married,
Mm,
when you have a relationship, I'll do anything I can for us to be able to heal together.
mm.
And I'm super excited for Luke, super.
Yeah,
So Sandalwood was the oil.
that is amazing.
Yeah, Sandalwood is pretty amazing.
That is next level stuff, everyone. Sandalwood.
Yes, 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 yes. So in
Okay.
the physical, do you guys want to know a little bit about the other benefits, like more like physical benefits? It
Yes.
is amazing for repelling insects. Insects do not like sandalwood, and also to clear dandruff. So anything connected to your scalp, hair, and also for especially for women, anything connected to the reproductive system, organs, but not hormonal balance wise. More for any anything that might be happening to a specific organ that's out of balance, not necessarily hormone related. Like damaged tissue, maybe. I'm trying to be compliant. Uh, so yes. Also, if you have any discomfort on your sciatica or sciatic nerve, that is one of the oils that you can absolutely use for regenerating bone cartilage. Do you say that? Did I say that right?
Mm.
Cartilage. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And another funny one, it might help with hiccups. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yes. And if you want to increase oxygen around the pineal gland and pituitary gland, sandalwood can help with that. I've heard people talk about calcification of the pineal gland.
Mm.
So, and not only physically speaking, but also energetically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So this one can be sandalwood can be a friend for that. And interestingly enough, amazing for the respiratory system.
Which is why it works for the throat thing.
Yeah.
This is
So
like
I
the singer's oil.
it is. I used to lose my voice about twice a year. You know, when you lose your voice, there's a name for that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about. So that is the specific oil for that. So if you tend to lose your voice, this is the oil that you can use.
Mm.
Yeah,
Very nourishing.
very much. Yeah. So sandalwood is also in Serenity, which is a blend for people that can't sleep. For the love of God, you can sleep. Serenity is the oil. And we also have the Serenity caps or complex that is not the blend of oils. It has some botanicals in there, but that is exactly specifically what Dr. Riggs talked about. And I will put the links here for you all to take a look at it yourself. Because, like I said, I can't talk about it, but you can look at it. Okay, I got the links up.
Yes, we need these studies.
Yeah, so I got the links up. So, guys, if you guys want it, it's on the comments, and that is good stuff. So, Serenity Complex specifically will help with that stuff that's on those links
Mm.
specifically. Okay, and I would
Awesome.
say that it's a world problem, right? It's happening globally. Olivia, what else is happening globally?
Well, funny you mentioned this because earlier I was actually just doing some test streams for HAPS and for another multi-streaming app thing. And I decided that I should ask a question, a very open-ended question, nothing too crazy. I didn't want any shout fests. I just asked a simple question. Have you ever tested positive for COVID-19? And I got some really interesting answers. People were saying things like, I don't ever want to test because I don't want to stick some random Q-tip in my nose. And then I had some people talking about not wanting to get the vaccine. And then I also heard some people talking about getting COVID and how awful it was and how they've been double vaxxed. I also got all kinds of different opinions and different experiences. And I thought it was just a really great conversation to have, to see, and to just be there to listen. And I'm always curious and open to hear different opinions and different thoughts. I also feel like if you're one of those people that are only consuming one type of opinion and one type of um, one perspective in all of your content, then maybe try exploring. For example, on my YouTube feed, it's very customized to what you like to watch and what you would want to watch, right? I get recommendations from all different sides of the media. So it's not just one opinion, not just one perspective. I hear every single perspective, and then I'm able to think critically and make a decision on my own rather than letting people feed information to me. I just like, I guess that's what comes with education, right? That's the one difference between going to school and I guess not going to school, or just being a critical thinker in general, is that when you are given information, yeah, when you are given information, you question it, you research it, you make sure that you fact check, especially after getting the degree in journalism. The first thing they teach us is that we are supposed to be unbiased and fact check everything. And so before I before I officially became a journalist with a journalism degree, I didn't realize that that rule could be broken. So now I fact check everything. Anytime I am watching any kind of news thing, especially if it pertains to health, I am definitely fact checking it. I'm double fact checking it, and not just from like factcheck.org. Okay, that is not a that to me, that site is literally equivalent to Wikipedia, which is really what it is, right? If you want to fact check something, you read the study, the actual study that came out, just like the links that were sent from Pam. You go and actually check the facts. And if you're unable to fact check something, then I assume that it is a theory or a hypothesis, and I do not assume that it is a fact because you cannot check the fact. So it's kind of a crazy time. Also on the HAP side, we've got some people coming in here. Thanks, Ella, the active sponsor, but she's my active sponsor. She sent a HAPS hug. Jim in Chicagoland also sent 50 cents, say super heart. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, so it's a pretty gnarly time. Yeah. The Louse D says good vibes. Good vibes, man. Good vibes. I agree. We should totally picnic outside. It's a fun
Yeah.
time. And I'm all about not discriminating too. So whether you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, I will support you and whatever you want. I will eat with you outside, inside, whatever you want to do. You know, I just I don't want to be that person, you know? Like, can we all just get along? Can we all just eat a
Yeah.
meal together at the same table? It's just
Right.
like,
And I think it's like vaxxed friends and unvaxxed friends. I love you. That's what it
yeah.
is. At the same time, though, I see a lot of people putting like hashtag. What is that? That's why because of you, we can't have nice things. Um, honestly, you can't put blame on anyone for what's happening. At the end of the day, I think there is a knowing of your own right here. That's your autonomy, and I believe that's where people need to tap into right here. No one can tell you more than you can really tap into yourself and kind of feel it, channel it. I believe we have this supernatural strength, and there's a lot of amazing things that are happening right now. And if you're feeling a little nervous or afraid, or you're feeling a little alone in whatever you believe in, believe me, there's lots of people behind you. You're not. No one is alone. So, and I also say this all the time. I believe that everything, every movement, whatever you believe in, it starts at home. You know. So I see a lot of hypocrisy too. A lot of people that are hypocrites. They talk the big talk, but when you really look into the very small daily things, they are not walking the walk. So just be true to yourself, and then that's just let the rest flow, and you will find your people. You know,
I agree.
your people are out there.
I totally agree. Um, and it's very interesting people who are um, really advocating for what they believe is good health. There's just putting it out there. There is no even as people as us, we're doing oily hour right now. There's no magical thing that you can just inject into yourself or just that one thing that you can do that is going to solve everything. And if that's something that you believe, then I highly encourage you to do some research. I don't want to tell you what to think, and because it's really it's a really interesting thought, right? You want to think. I just want to
Yeah,
encourage critical thinking. I
yeah,
want to.
and be plugged in, right? I think there is a recall that happened in Japan for like 163 million of this stuff, and um like take a look at it. I think it's important, there, if you don't want stainless steel in your bloodstream, that's for sure, know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't have to
yeah,
be a
I
mad scientist to know that.
yeah. The
So
situation in Japan is is upsetting. It's not. It's not good.
but
I
remember
was
we
like,
talked,
oh.
hey Olivia, remember we talked about the real reason why the world is sick? Remember,
Hmm.
I read this thing last time, um and I believe there is a combination of lots of things that are taught in society that make us do things that are not good for us. That's because we don't stop and think for ourselves. We just do what is told, and we just do because, oh, they said so, right? So I'm just going to emphasize that what I said the last time. um, if you're weak and sick and demoralized, it's much easier to control you. So just I seek to be strong and healthy and aware for me to be able to make the choices that are best for me. Right? I don't make a choice for anybody else. I do it for myself. But for
Well,
sure, we want a healthy, strong, and smart group of people in the world. But I think it might be a threat to a lot of other things that surround us. You know?
well, I mean, if you really think about it in terms of, I think morally and philosophically and legally, you should only be able to make a choice for yourself and not anybody else. That would
Yeah.
be a little odd.
Yes. So
Yeah.
let me give you a few tips of things that I do, and you do it too. Um, we make sure our water is good. Like it kind of like this is kind of plain simple stuff, right? But I'm gonna keep repeating it because it seems that a lot of people don't even pay attention to the littlest things that you do every single day, many times a day. Drink good water, and good water does not come in plastic bottles. And just make sure you know that you have good sourced water. Your food supply has to be not full of poison. Okay, like I said this in one of the presentations I did for doTERRA. You peel more and unpack less. Chew your food, right? Take a look at the nutrients that you should be having every single day. You can control the quality of the air in your home. You can get active and sweat and start trying. I don't wear sunglasses anymore. Have you guys noticed that? I used to wear sunglasses. I don't anymore. It's good to get some
I
sun.
never understood. I personally, okay, so I'm sorry to all the sunglass companies that have ever sponsored me, but I have never been a fan of sunglasses. I freaking hate them. I love to see everything in full color. I hate wearing sunglasses. I think it's really annoying because I can't see what the world looks like. I don't care if the sun's in my eye. It's very weird. And I think people think that we're weird. So I've just never liked sunglasses, like ever since I was a little kid, like up until now. And I'll get sponsored by these sunglass companies, and I was like, "Ooh, look at how cool these are! They're so cool." And then I wear them, and I'm like, take it off, take it off. It's horrible. I hate these.
Right? And that's something people don't think about because that's something that we're taught, and it's trendy and it's fun and it's cool, and we don't stop to think about this stuff. All the trauma that we all go through trauma, but we have ways to heal it. All the stuff that you put on constantly on your skin, on your face, on your mouth, make sure that this stuff is good. Connect. We're always bare feet. Look, Addie's bare feet, I'm bare feet, always bare feet.
Show feet. It's a thing. It's a
Oh
hashtag.
yes, we are in a city, but we're always bare feet.
Yeah,
I think those are little things that we need to keep practicing, and we forget, and even to be mindful and to be grateful, right? For the littlest might be such it might be stupid even for some people, but so I think right now people are just blaming this germ rather than addressing the real cause of everything, right? Which
yeah,
is about you and your health and your body, your self responsibility. So,
yeah,
um, yeah. So we need to get back into taking care of ourselves, right? So I always say that in my world of DoTerra, this is my way of taking my power back, because that's what DoTerra has given me. It has given me a
Oh,
way
I
to
love
get my
that.
power back.
That's awesome. I love it. It's beautiful.
I am too, Olivia.
This child never
Hi.
took synthetic meds ever.
And look how healthy she is. She's hanging out.
This is my poster child.
I can hear it from here.
Yeah, you can hear from here.
Okay.
You love into
Can I
Olivia.
have one?
Yes. And speaking of walking barefoot, I think we should talk about that in the next episode because I have officially been diving really deep into earthing, and I think it's pretty cool. And it's all kind of within the same line of just earthing, the chaga mushrooms, the adaptogenic healing properties of so many different things that we don't even fully understand or know about yet. Earthing, obviously, there are a ton of studies. Everything that we've talked about on the Oily Hour are backed by studies. So it's just something that has been studied but hasn't been featured all over the news like some things that it's all a selective process, right? It's all about what the media wants you to believe and think and know, and it's up to you to discover and learn certain things on your own.
Yes. And Olivia, I'm actually translating the materials right now, but in Brazil, our team, we're doing a 30-day challenge starting October
Mm.
1st. So this is an invitation to all of you. If you'd like to do a challenge for 30 days in October, in Brazil, we're focusing summer because we have the opposite seasons, right? So October we start our 30-day challenge, and you can choose or you can do all three. So we have the challenge that we're calling Cleopatra, which is for your skin and beauty. The second one is called Sansão. Sansão was known for his amazing strong hair, so we're calling that's the hair challenge. And the third one is the skinny jeans, so
Ooh,
metabolism.
love it. Yes. So let's talk about all those things in the next future episodes. So it looks like B, you should join us to talk about walking barefoot. That would be so fun. Yeah, so walking barefoot is very interesting. I think I've now watched that documentary twice, Earthing. One because I was watching it because I was interested, and then second, it was the only downloaded video when I was on an airplane once, and so I rewatched it again. because I was like, you know what, let me refresh my memory. And so it was great. But yeah, is there anything else that we should cover today? What do you think?
Well, that's how I get rid of jet lag. I just put my feet in either sand or grass once I land in a place, and then I put some elevation on. No jet lag.
Grounding,
Grounding.
very
It's hard to
important.
make these children put shoes on. It's hard.
Because why? When you're walking around barefoot, there's nothing. There are certain, well, there are actually studies that have proven that when you walk around barefoot, there are these grounding waves that do not allow bad stuff to enter your body. So kind of cool. And they know
Really
this.
cool.
They're children. They've never read the studies. They just know it's better.
Yes, it's better. So next week also, Olivia, we've talked about this a lot, but I want to touch on objections. I think objections
Yeah.
are a big topic for all kinds of different businesses, not only what we do in doTERRA, but let me tell you, we go through a lot of objections, a lot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But we have, I've gone through probably most of them. So I want to touch on on the objections because that's one thing that keeps people from seeing other possibilities.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Totally. I agree. We should totally cover that. We have many episodes coming up. Can you tell? We have so many episode ideas. They're coming up soon.
Yeah. But one thing, if all you had to do to have success was to change your perspective, would you do it? Okay, that's the only thing I'm gonna ask, and then we're gonna cover it next week.
Awesome. Okay, well, it was so great to see you, Pam, and it was so great to see everyone here. It was always a great conversation here on Oily Hour, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye bye.
With
Bye.
your
Have a happy
crazy
Labor
hair.
Day with your crazy hair and your
This
bare
is one
feet.
costume. You put a centerfold.
Say love you, Auntie.
Love you, Auntie.
Okay, bye, guys.
Love
Love
you,
you.
Auntie. Love
Say
you.
aloha.
Aloha.
All right.